Namo Namaha Bhavatam Sarvesham Hartam Swagatam. Welcome back to the channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And I understand there has been quite a gap since my last video. But with all shifting to a new place and several different personal reasons, I am unable to find time to record these videos. And after a long time, now that I'm back in my hometown for Diwali celebrations, I am able to manage this temporary arrangement. And I'm hoping that I can record at least few videos so that our series Learning Sanskrit through Gita, it can move ahead. Okay, so a big thank you for being patient here with me. Okay, so what we have covered so far, we have covered 50 shlokas from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I hope all of you have gone through those videos. Now this 51st shloka, this is very interesting because this particular shloka answers a question that what is the benefit, what is the use of whatever we have been studying in the past recent videos. In the past recent shlokas, the running theme was Karma Yoga, and Krishna had been telling us all the different, all the different mechanisms and what is the right way to perform a work. Everything that comes under this umbrella of Karma Yoga philosophy, right? And in this verse, Krishna explicitly answers this question that we may have, that what is the benefit of this Karma Yoga philosophy, whatever you have been speaking about, what is the benefit of all this? So this verse answers that. It's a beautiful verse, what we can learn from philosophy point of view, but most importantly, what we can learn from Sanskrit point of view, from grammar and vocabulary point of view, all that we will see. So without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive in today's video. Okay, so this is the 51st shloka. Let me go through the shloka once. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha Janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya namayam. Okay, so this is our original shloka, the Mula shloka, and this of course is the Sandhi Vichcheda of the same shloka. There is only one Sandhi that we can spot here between these two padas, Gacchanti and Anamayam. What Sandhi is this? So this is the Yana Sandhi, due to which Gacchanti Anamayam, they combine as Gacchanti Anamayam. Okay, you get this Yakara Desha, that is due to Yana Sandhi, Gacchantya namayam. We can spot another sandhi here also, buddhi yuktahi. Okay, so as you can see here the pada is buddhi yuktaha. But in the Mula shloka, the visarga is disappeared. So this is the visarga lopa sandhi, due to which this disappearance, this lopa of visarga is happening, visarga lopa sandhi. Okay, and see, apart from these two sandhis, there is a sandhi happening between these padas also. And I've spoken about this sandhi before also. This is the Anuswara sandhi. What is the Anuswara Sandhi? That when you have this makara at the end of a pada. So for such a makarant pada, if you have a following word starting with a consonant, then this makara is replaced by this dot, this Anuswara. That is that Anuswara Sandhi. Same thing is happening here also. Phalam tyaktva. That because following this makarant pada, you have a word that is starting with a consonant. That is why this makara is replaced by this anuswara. Okay, same thing you can spot here also, padam and gacchanti. Okay, so this is also one sandhi, and that is the reason when we do sandhi vichcheda, all the words which are ending with this anuswara, we give this makara back. Same thing you can spot here also, phalam and padam. Okay, so I just want to bring your attention back that this is also one sandhi, Anuswara sandhi. I don't explicitly mention it because there is no change in the pada or the way it combines with following word. So I don't explicitly mention it, but I've spoken about this before also. I was just repeating that same thing, that this is also a part of a sandhi. Again, all the details, all the word by word breakdown is in the PDF sheet that you can, as usual, get it from the link in the description box. Okay, there you can download this PDF file. Now let us move on and start the decoding of the shloka. Okay, so the similar way we usually do, we spot the Kriya Pada and we start with that. So Gacchanti is our Kriya Pada, we are starting with that. Gacchanti means they go or they attain to. They go towards some place or they attain to something. In both this respect, this Gacchanti, this works. And again, what is the form here? So Gacchanti is coming from Gam Dhatu. The form is Lat Lakara, present tense. Prathama Purusha, that is third person, and Bahuvachanam. As you can see in the form, Gacchanti, Gacchati, Gacchata, Gacchanti. So, Gacchanti, they go or they attain. We are starting with this Kriya Pada, and immediately the question will be, Ke Gacchanti, who all go? And the response is, Manishinaha Gacchanti. This Manishinaha, this is coming from Manishin. This is the Nakaranta Pullinga Pratipadika Manishin. That means wise person. Okay, and Manishinaha, so this is just the Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam form. Manishi, Manishinau, Manishinaha. So this is the Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam form. So wise people, we are talking about multiple people. So wise people. Okay, this is the karta of this kriya. So manishinaha gacchanti. The wise people, they go. The wise people, they attain to. Okay, this is what we have so far. And then moving on, we find certain adjectives that are being used for these manishinaha, these wise people. What are these adjectives? So to bring them out, I'm asking this question, kidrishaha. What like? So we have this Visheshan Padam, Buddhi Yuktaha Manishinaha. Buddhi Yuktaha. Okay, so we can clearly see this is a Samasta Padam. This is a Samasa. And what are the two words that we can spot in this Samasa? So we have Buddhi and we have Yukta. Yukta means endowed, endowed with something. And this Buddhi, so as we have been seeing from the previous few shlokas, this Buddhi in the context of these shlokas can be understood as knowledge. Buddhi is true knowledge. And buddhi can also means discriminating intelligence. That is the viveka. Okay, this buddhi term has been coming in the recent shlokas also, and we have discussed this twofold meaning of buddhi within the context of the shlokas, within the context of this karma yoga philosophy that we are discussing right now. And then with this samasa, what we are trying to say? We are trying to say endowed with knowledge. Okay, so we are trying to say buddhaya yuktaha iti buddhi yuktaha. Okay, so that is the Vigraha Vakya of this Samasta Padam, of this Samasa, that one who is endowed, Yuktaha, with Buddhi, Buddhaya. So Buddhaya Yuktaha iti Buddhi Yuktaha. Just here we have the Bahuvachanam form. Why? Because it is after all an adjective to this noun. Since this noun is Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam, so this Pada, Buddhi Yukta, this is also Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Okay, so we are saying Buddhi Yuktaha Manishinaha Gacchanti, that the wise people who are endowed with true knowledge or who are endowed with that discriminating intelligence, that viveka, such wise people they go, such wise people they attain to. Okay, this is what we have so far. Okay, and then moving on, we have another adjective. So I'm again repeating this question, that punaha kidrisha, punascha kidrishaha. And we have this pada, janma bandha vinirmuktaha. And again, just by looking at this word, you can clearly see it is also a samasta padam. It is also a samasa. And you can spot these three padas, janma, bandha, vinirmukta. See, mukta, vinirmukta in the same meaning, that means free. Vinirmukta is same as mukta, free. Okay. Bandha, bandha means the bondage. Okay, bandha means that tie, that bondage. And then you have this janma. Janma means the birth. Okay. Actually, the pratipadika is janman. It is a nakaranta pratipadika. But again, we have seen this before also. I hope you remember this thing, that whenever we combine any nakarant pada in a samasa, so this nakara is disappeared. The lopa of this nakara happens due to some internal sandhi. So that is why in the samaspadam you don't see this nakara, because the lopa happens. But actually the pratipadika is janman. It is a nakarant napumsaklinga pratipadika. Okay, so in this samastapadam we have these three padas, janman, bandha and vinirmukta. And again we have seen this before, that when we combine multiple words into a samasa, into a samastapada, so we take two words at a time. Okay, this is how we understand. This is also how we do the Vigraha Vakya. So that means if I have to understand this samasa, if I have to do the Vigraha Vakya of this entire samasa, I take two words at a time. So first of all, I take these two words, Janman and Bandha. And what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to say bondage of birth. Bondage of birth means bondage of this cycle of life and death. Okay, so with this sense, if I have to do the Vigraha Vakyam, what I will say? I will say Janmanaha Bandha, that the bondage bandha of birth, Janmanaha. Janmanaha Bandha iti Janma Bandha. So this is the first samasa that we create, Janma Bandha, that means bondage of birth. And then I am adding this third word also. And what I am saying? Vinirmuktaha, free from this bondage of birth. So free from this bondage of birth. So the Vigraha Vakyam now will be Janma Bandhat Vinirmuktaha. That one who is Vinirmuktaha, one who is free. Free from what? So free from this bondage of birth. So Janma Bandhat Vinirmuktaha iti Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha. So that is how we arrive at this samasa, at this samasta padam. Okay, so this is how we do the Vigraha Vakyam for any samasa which has more than two padas. Okay, we take two words at a time. This is how we understand this samasa. And again, this samasta padam, Janma Bandha Vinirmukta, this samasta padam is also being used as an adjective for this manishinaha. So this is also in the same Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam and in the Pullinga form, just like manishinaha. So that is why Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha. But anyways, I hope this samasa, this samasta padam is also clear. So moving ahead, now I have a question, Kim Kritva. That Kim Kritva, such Manishinaha, they become Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha. After doing what? Such wise people, they become free from the bondage of life and death. And for this question, we find the answer in these three padas. Karmajam phalam tyaktva. That after abandoning or having abandoned. Okay, that is this pada tyaktva. We already know, we have seen this pada so many times before. Tyaj, that is the root. Tyaj means to abandon. When this is modified using tva pratyay, we get this kridanta tyaktva, after abandoning or having abandoned. But again the question is, having abandoned what? So having abandoned phalam tyaktva, that having abandoned the fruit, phalam, that is the literal translation is the fruit, but we know this is symbolic for the outcome or the result, because that is what we are talking about in respect of the work. Because this phalam, what is this? This is karmajam. This phalam, this is karmajam. Karmajam means something that is born of actions. That is this karmajam. So see, this karmaja, this is also a samastapadam, because the meaning here is karmabhyaha jayate iti karmaja. Jayate means something which has come out, something which is born. That is jayate. And born from what? So born from actions. So karmabhyaha jayate iti karmaja. So this is also a samasa. That is the meaning, karmaja, born of action. That is why we say, whenever we have this ja basically represents jayate, born from what? That is why for lotus we say pankaja, born from the clay, that mud, that is pankaja, that is lotus. Or we also say ambuja, born from water, or rather you can say born in water, so ambuja. So this ja represents jayate, something that has come out, something that is born. Okay, and this samastapadam, this is also being used as an adjective for this phalam. So that is why this also is in the same form. Phalam, this neuter gender form. So this karmaja is also in the neuter gender form. That is napumsak lingaha in dutiya vibhakti. Why dutiya vibhakti? Because tyaktva, after abandoning what? So this phalam is the karma of this kridanta, that after abandoning the outcome. So that is why, since this is the karma, so that is why this is in dutiya vibhakti. Okay, so I hope all these things are also clear. And what we have is karmajam phalam tyaktva, that having abandoned or after abandoning the fruit or the results, the outcomes that are born of actions, after abandoning them, basically after abandoning the attachment to them, after abandoning that egocentric attachment to them, these wise people, these manishinaha, they become this janma bandha vinirmuktaha. They become free from the bondage of life and death. Because again, see, if you are able to abandon, if you are able to let go all kinds of attachment to the fruits of the action, then those karma will come back to what? When the karta is not there, then those karmas will come back to what? When the ego is gone, where will those karmas come back to? And that is how these wise people, they are able to break the cycle of samsara, break the cycle of life and death, because our karmas, they hold us in this cycle. So that same idea we find reflected here also. Okay, so I hope up till this point everything is clear. That the manishinaha, the wise people who are buddhi yuktaha, who are endowed with true knowledge, and who after abandoning the fruit born of actions and are thus free from the bondage of life and death, such manishinaha, such wise people, they go, they attain. Okay, so I hope everything up till this point it is clear. And now if we'll move on, so we will ask the karma, that where do they go? So kim gachanti, or rather kutra gachanti. See, with this gam dhatu, whenever the meaning is to go, so the karma is always in dutiya vibhakti, and the response is manishinaha padam gachanti. Padam, this is coming from pada pratipadika, and the meaning here is they attain to that state, or they go to that destination. See, pada can be seen in different ways. You can see pada as a destination, you can see pada as a abode, or you can see pada as a state, okay, as an avastha. But again, you can choose either of the words. The meaning is what we understand, that manishinha padam gachanti, that such wise people, they attain to that ultimate state, or they go to that ultimate abode, to that ultimate destination. Okay, we are talking about that enlightenment. Okay, so manishinaha padam gachanti. Pada in dutiya vibhakti. Why dutiya vibhakti? Because again, the karma of this kriya, right? So dutiya vibhakti ekvachanam padam. Okay, so this is easy to understand. And then we have one adjective for this padam also. That is why I'm asking kidrisham padam. What like? How are they describing this padam? And Krishna says anamayam padam. Anamayam. So see, this is also a samasa where the mool pada is amaya. Basically something which has a lot of afflictions, which is afflicted, something which is evil. You can also take the meaning like that. Something which is full of afflictions, something which is evil. That is that amaya. And if I want to say na amaya, that if I want to negate it, so I simply add this an with it, right? Because this word is starting with a vowel. So to negate such a word, we add this an. So an plus amaya, the word becomes anamaya. And now this anamaya means free from afflictions. This anamaya means not evil. Okay, something which is free from all kinds of misery, sickness, which is free from all kinds of affliction. Okay, and this is again a very apt adjective to be used for this padam, because this padam we are talking about that ultimate stage, that place of enlightenment. So that ultimate stage, that is anamayam, that is completely free of all kinds of evil or all kinds of negativities, all kinds of afflictions. So anamayam padam gachanti. That is why Krishna is using this pada. Okay, so I hope all these padas, they are clear. Now let us see the anvaya along with the anuvada. Manishinaha, the wise people who are buddhiyuktaha, who are endowed with true knowledge and who are endowed with this knowledge of karma yoga, because the running theme is karma yoga in this section. So the wise people who are endowed with this true knowledge of karma yoga, the true philosophy of working, and tyaktva, that having abandoned karmajam phalam, that having abandoned the fruit that is born of actions, or rather having abandoned the attachment to the fruit, to the outcome that is born of actions, and so are now janma bandha vinirmuktaha, and so are now free, vinirmuktaha, they are now free from the bondage of birth, that are free from the cycle of life and death. Such manishinaha, such wise people, they gachanti, they attain what? They attain that anamayam padam. They attain the state which is free from all kinds of afflictions. That such wise people, they reach that ultimate abode, that is free from all kinds of afflictions, anamayam padam. Okay, that is the anvaya and the translation of the shloka. Okay, so this is Krishna's answer to, if we had this question, that what is the benefit of all this karma yoga philosophy. See, in the karma yoga philosophy, Krishna gave us two definitions, right? From the 48th shloka, we get this definition that samatvam yoga uchyate. That this yoga, this karma yoga, what is this? This is samatvam. The evenness of mind, the equanimity of mind is yoga. So that is one definition that we get. And then in the recent shloka, the latest shloka, the 50th shloka, we get another definition. That is yogaha karmasu kaushalam. That skillfulness in action, dexterity in performing any work, that is this yoga. Okay, so two definitions we get from Krishna under this karma yoga philosophy. One is samatvam yoga, the evenness of mind is yoga, and then another is karmasu kaushalam, that this kaushala, this skillfulness in action, that is this yoga. And both these definitions together give us the full picture of this karma yoga philosophy. Why? Because only when we have samatvam, only when we have this evenness of mind, this equanimity of mind, then only all our focus, all our mental energy can be available to perform that work. And then only we can achieve that highest level of kaushala, that highest level of skillfulness in performing any work. So that evenness of mind is necessary to be able to do this kaushalam, to have this kaushalam in karmasu, in all this work. So both these definitions together give us a beautiful meaning of this karma yoga philosophy. And only such a person who are able to act like this, with this evenness of mind, with this skillfulness, and having abandoned all the attachment to the fruit of actions, only such a person, they can become purified. Only the minds of such people can become purified enough to be able to dwell into deeper meditations on the subtle truths, which ultimately take them to that ultimate level. So that is what Krishna is telling. That is the whole benefit of performing work with this karma yoga philosophy. Okay, a beautiful shloka again, and the same thing is being again expounded a little bit more in that upcoming shloka. So that we will see in the next video. I hope all these terms, everything was clear. Again, if you have any confusion, if I missed out anything, there is that PDF sheet that will help you in case of your self-study and all. I'll now take leave, and I'll meet you in another video with another shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy, keep learning Sanskrit. Vayam punaha milamaha. Dhanyavad.